All right, Dr. Sam Amadi, Director of Abuja School of Social and Political Thought, is here to join me. Let's discuss everything primaries and politics as it is playing out. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Fantastic. Primaries, all the parties are conducting their primaries. Let me start with what you experienced, what you saw while you were sitting here, the ADC primaries in Rivers State, where you have two factions electing different governorship candidates. What do you make of that particularly? And then, of course, other primaries with that of APC ending to that, the Collation Center, where the president polled about, is it 10 million and above votes? He had a challenger. Just
okay, so the fruit does not fall far from the tree. The primaries would mirror the dysfunctionality, the crisis, the uncertainty, and even the idiocy and foolishness of this time. To the whereas where we are, the madness of this season. First, you're real primaries with parties having several uncertainties around who is who. So ADC, I mean, if you take each of these factions seriously, and many of them are franchise, every year they come out from the woodwork. Kachuku was the presidential candidate in 2023, and here he is also claiming to be the leader of ADC. So just to be respectful, I think sometimes these guys in the political bloc are basically disrespectful, not disreputable in my view. But we take it for what it is. So there are supposed to be 3 ADC. If you take Ibekachuku, take Belu Gabo, Bala Gambo, Bala Nafiu, and then of course the more reputable one led by
former Senate President.
And so they're going to produce candidates, quote and unquote. We see the crisis with SDP, where it seemed to be revolving chair. Adebayo has been was elected as president candidate, and another person is coming up. So first is the fact that there's too many uncertainties, mirroring this is the worst period of time in party organization in Nigerian politics. In 2023, we have crisis here and there, but we didn't have this level. We went into the primaries with clarity. PDP was PDP. We may argue what happened in the primary. APC was APC. Labour Party was Labour Party. We didn't quite have what we have now. The second issue to point out is that we now move to direct primary, and APC has done well to kind of drive a real, if you like, this is an event. So something speaks like Hope Uzodinma carries his poster, his wife, and people line up in Tinubu in Lagos with his wife. So that conveys powerful image, quote unquote, of some kind of democracy in action. This is maybe a refresh, a harken back to 1993 with option A4. So there are two ways to look at it. We're making progress. We are seeing, no matter how damaged, flawed these processes are, at least that's a process. So in that very favorable analysis, the next step will be for INEC long ago to have a long time to structure framework, to stipulate processes and then manage them. And so we can see maybe more primaries better organized with more reasonable numbers. I mean,
let me ask.
But the bad interpretation that actually we're not making progress, that we're actually going backwards, that we're having shambolic processes where even they count 1, 2, 10, 100. And so these periods tells us a story that democracy in Nigeria could either be work in progress or it could be a work abandoned long ago. So we basically have work in progress, far to the finishing line, work abandoned. So this is more like, this is not democracy. This is something else.
What you have, I ask you 2 questions straight out. What you have described, everything has a root cause. And if you don't deal with the root cause, you're just wasting your time. What has informed the state we're in now, Nigeria, in terms of how the politics is playing out? unfolding with breakout of parties here, with so many factions, with the court rulings seemingly undecisive and people interpreting
Chaotic
it their way,
decisions,
chaotic, And then secondly, if you can handle those two questions, 33 years ago was the first time we had option A4.
And it was a clear,
No
clean
ballot boxes,
process,
no killings. Now we have option A4.
Also, what seems like option A4.
Oh, that's where I'm going to. You answer the question. Have we improved? Are we improving then and now? What do you make of?
Okay, so the first question, what's the underlying cause of this? Collapse of state institutions. So take, for example, party management, okay? It might be national culture. There's a sense in which there's impunity, there's reckless criminality that's flowing in Nigeria. There is a sense of total senselessness and lack of constraint, word of value. So institutions, parties, you have somebody in PDP, but he's planting somebody as governor in another party in a state. River State, for example, could be a textbook analysis of what's wrong. We never had this way. We never had where there is neither logic nor sense in actions about politics. So collapse of state social values. I think there's a sense in which since 2023, the Nigerian state has come under the grip of recklessness never imagined.
What has encouraged it?
What has encouraged it is power, obsession with power, and corruptibility. Leaders who have taken charge have been so fused into the idea of corrupting everybody. They have bought up the judiciary. I mean, never we've had where the state provides housing to judges in FCT, for example. People say, oh, housing, come on. Why should the state provide housing, direct donation? There is a frontline charge for the judges. If the judges want to build houses, they could put in their budget. So a FCT minister, gracious, say, I'll give you a house. And housing is critical to well-being. Two, we have INEC officials report, and some of them saying we've got plot of land. So land in Abuja has been used as instrument of destroying public integrity of institutions. So we've seen patronage run amok. That's one of it. Two, we've seen a gangsterist kind of approach to, coercing, breaking down resistance. So what this has created is that the party management structure is gone, public value. INEC has neither the integrity nor the competence to even the space, time, to really engineer a process that restores balance. Then the judiciary, the big elephant in the room. Chaos is a kind word. Decisions are either incomplete, theorized, don't make sense sometimes. Conflicting judgment from judges. You saw the case of PDP. You got a judge in Federal High Court here. Then the judge in Ibadan says, go ahead. And everybody says, don't go ahead. And so all this come together. So when we look at what's going on, let's not just sit back and pick them episodically. Let's put them together and see a logic that Nigeria has entered a mode where recklessness, criminality, lawlessness, capture of institutions are working together to create for us a farcical democracy. So it's farcical.
That's a good place to stop it. I wish.
But whether we'll get out of this, some people say we may get out of it.
That was
step
just
by
because
step.
we don't have time. I was going to ask, because when you identify the problems, then you speak the solutions. But we don't have time to address that. Thank you for being on Newsnight, Dr. Sam Amadi.